the worst neighbor you've ever had, and what did they do to become so? When I was a kid, we had neighbors who were, without a doubt, the absolute worst. The family moved in when I was about 8, and from day one, it was obvious they had zero respect for anyone else on the block. They had this Great Dane that roamed freely, and it wasn't just a regular dog that barked a lot or chewed shoes. It was one of those massive dogs that could easily knock over a small kid if it wanted to. The dog immediately claimed our lawn as its personal bathroom. Every day, it would somehow get under their gate, or maybe they just left it open, and leave huge piles of poop across our yard, sometimes even on our porch steps. The family themselves wasn't much better. Trash would appear on our lawn randomly, and I mean everything from fast food wrappers to old soda cans. Cigarette butts littered the flower beds. My dad talked to them a couple of times about keeping their dog contained and cleaning up after themselves. Each time they'd shrug and say there was nothing they could do. They seemed proud of it, almost like our frustration was amusing to them. It got worse over time. They were loud all day and night, music blaring from their house while the parents screamed at each other like it was a spectator sport. Their kids, around my age, were relentless. They'd taunt me and my sister if we went outside, throw water balloons over our fence, and generally acted like mini tyrants. One day, my dad decided he'd had enough of stepping over dog poop every morning. He went outside with a shovel, picked up the dog's mess, and tossed it right back into their yard. Not just a casual toss either. He had this weird satisfaction in launching it over the fence with perfect accuracy. I remember standing there partly horrified, partly impressed, as chunks of dog poop flew back into their yard. From that day on, it became a ritual for him. The Great Dane would do its duty, and my dad would return the favor. The family yelled and threatened, but the dog was still theirs, so legally they could only complain. Then there was the hill incident. Their backyard sloped steeply down toward ours, and one summer, they bought one of those inflatable kiddie pools for the kids to play in. Of course, it was placed at the top of the hill, and we watched from our porch as these little monsters splashed around, completely oblivious to gravity. At first, it was entertaining, watching them shriek and giggle, but then, as if karma had a timetable, the pool tipped. The whole thing slid down the hill like a miniature water slide, and the kids went with it. The Great Dane had been wandering nearby and, well, you can probably guess where this is going. By the time the pool reached the bottom, the kids were covered in mud and dog poop, sliding like they were part of some bizarre extreme sport. My sister and I couldn't stop laughing, tears streaming down our faces. My dad was laughing too, though he pretended to be annoyed. The parents came out screaming, trying to scold their kids, but it was too late. The damage was done. The kids ran inside, caked in mess, and my dad just shook his head, muttering about karma being poetic sometimes. That summer, our neighborhood block became a war zone of sorts. My dad's poop launching became legendary among the kids on our side of the street, and the Great Dane never stopped leaving reminders. But somehow, the hill incident cemented our little victory. Those kids were humbled, even if only temporarily, and it gave us all a long-lasting sense of sweet, messy justice. Looking back now, it was ridiculous. The sheer absurdity of living next to that family is almost funny in retrospect, especially the way everything escalated from minor annoyances to full-on backyard warfare. But at the time, it felt like the worst neighbor situation imaginable. I don't think they ever really understood the chaos they caused, and honestly, that made the little wins, even if they were poop-related, even more satisfying. By the time we moved a few years later, I had enough stories to fill a book about that family and their dog. Every block has troublemakers, but ours took the cake. Between their negligence, the giant dog, the loud music, the brash kids, and my dad's unconventional brand of justice, they were easily the worst neighbors I've ever had. And yet, that one summer with the pool incident, best day ever.